We are recording now. Dave, say something funny.
I'm in trouble.
We know.
Hello and welcome to the Filter Free Podcast. I am your host, TJ Stevens.
Problematic.
Out of my left earbud.
Getting off to a banging start here, though.
Joining me as always,
Step ends.
Dollar Bill Dave.
I touched myself.
I just need to clip that. Just Dave leaning forward. I touched myself.
And Timmy C.
Goo, goo, goo.
Dave's is awesome, and he got a new hat, and it's hilarious. Are you drunk? Yes or no? And it's marked on the right-hand side for both.
Time limit drawers get my panties wet. I love it.
We've covered this butt wipe on a few different occasions.
Butt wipe?
You don't call people butt wipe anymore?
No. I'm not 7. Good news is I've limited the producer's amount to screw us over this, so we're actually going to get to sing along with the songs now. You are welcome.
You gotta fight for your right to party! Hello and welcome to the Filter Free Podcast. I am your host, TJ Stevens.
Step ins.
Joining me as always, Dollar Bill Dave.
In the doghouse.
Live from the doghouse.
We just started.
Not with us.
Okay. And Timmy C.
Who?
I would like to point out in that video of us singing Beastie Boys, I think my hair is actually longer now than it was in that video.
It's thinner, though.
Not by much.
Okay.
Please remember to subscribe and rate this show wherever you get your podcast. Leave a review. It takes 20 seconds, people. Like, we're not asking for the world here. While you're at it, follow the show on Twitter at FF Popcast, on Instagram at Filter Free Popcast. Follow our network on Twitter at Ram Sportsnet. Timmy, get your scroll out and list all these shows that we have available on our network.
Well, the first thing you want to do is go to YouTube, search Filter Free Popcast, and subscribe to that too, because we are a lot funnier on video. And now that we've kind of rolled this around, we're going to start doing more video elements. So get those on. But if you go to www.patreon.com/Rem Network, you will get our old episodes of Legends Let's Rethink This, which we actually have been reached out to by one of our former legends that may want to get back together with us, do a little something.
True, and it kind of blew my mind.
Football is getting paid with Tim and Dave coming in the fall. Old School Evolution of Evil, Wrestling with Commercials, 2024 events. You will also get World Class Flashback, Eras, The New Generation, Hard Times and Beyond. You'll also get the other main shows, TNA Top 10, Talking Wrestling with Palmwater Dave. Holy shit, 7 days free when you go there right now and sign up. And trust me, you sign up for that, you're going to want to stick around. As we are releasing this, just over a week ago, Dave had his watch along for the 92 Rumble on Eras, The New Generation.
92 Survivor Series.
Or Survivor Series.
Right.
92 Rumble would have been better. Ric Flair won the world title.
That's not the new era.
It was a new era for me because I was out. And then
Next we got, so tomorrow night I'm doing Hard Times and Beyond. We are past Starrcade 85, so we're going to be doing 2 weeks of NWA World Championship Wrestling, which eventually turned into WCW Saturday Night. But NWA World Championship Wrestling, the 2 weeks following Starrcade of 85. So we're going to kind of recap what happened, and then we're going to start building new feuds.
Nice.
Hey, Dave. I'm going to need you to calm down a little bit. Your energy level just a little too high. Need you just you're at like a 10. I need you at like a 2.
Sorry, bud.
Thank you.
Did Dave
Really liking what we're doing on the Ram Network.
Did Dave just break into scat?
I think he juke jive and then you wail and you juke jive. No.
Zoot Suit Riot?
Zoot Suit Riot.
Yeah.
Riot.
Well, I'm excited for this show, and I'm excited for our main story, which we're now calling The Deep Cut.
Excited. I believe that was actually, it wasn't even my idea. It was Sarah's idea.
It is the most batshit story you don't know about, probably, unless you're like me and watch all the crime documentaries on Netflix. But we're not there yet. So, Timmy, get your finger on the button. Because this week, we're going back to June of 2004. Now, let's see what was happening in your world yesterday. Let's run through some events filter free. Up first, Timmy, get us warmed up.
Stories that missed the cut.
Oh, we're not doing that anymore?
Nah, hell with that music. Just drowns you out every time.
That's upsetting. June 2nd, Ken Jennings begins his Jeopardy winning streak of 74 games.
Did I ever tell you guys about the time I was almost on Jeopardy? Only about 100 times, maybe. Slept
Only
through the
you
tryouts.
spell
I think I heard it twice at Top Golf last year.
Speaking of that, but when we get to our deep cut, I'll tell you a story about Top Golf.
We need a Top Golf at Top Guy Weekend.
We do. I agree. I concur.
I'll book it.
I won't
Book
book
it. June 5th, the 40th president. Oh, wait, I skipped one. June 5th, Jennifer Lopez marries Mark Anthony in Beverly Hills. They were divorced in 2014.
I think we discussed last week that nobody knew who she was. Jennifer.
Would you marry Jennifer?
Mariah Carey didn't know anyway.
If you knew you were going to get divorced because she's been divorced like 8 times, would you still marry her?
No.
Yeah, I'd get half her stuff. Fuck yeah, I would.
No.
You ever heard of a prenup?
I wouldn't sign it. Look, if you want this dick, there ain't no prenup.
I'm sure she'd be like, "Oh no."
Yeah, I'm glad you're so confident. June 5th, the 40th president of the United States, Ronald Reagan, dies at the age of 93 from pneumonia complicated from Alzheimer's.
Complicated by the fact he was 93.
Yeah.
There's that too.
I read his autobiography. It was pretty freaking cool.
He died of a heroin overdose. I heard.
Down this wall. June 7th, Tim McGraw releases the song Live Like You Were Dying. This would go on to win Grammy for Best Country Song and Billboard Song of the Year.
Skydiving, Rocky Mountain climbing, riding horses through Buffalo.
Seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu.
No, he's riding horses through Buffalo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You're right. I forgot how silly it was. June 7th, the Tampa Bay Lightning beat the Calgary Flames in Game 7 for their first ever Stanley Cup in their first appearance.
I think that may have been the last time a team from Canada won this or was in the Stanley Cup. It has been 30 years since a team from Canada won the Stanley Cup. That's crazy. It's their sport. It's their friggin' sport.
It was who was
That's
it?
because America owns ice soccer.
Oh, it was Montreal. It was the Canadiens in '93. That was the last team to win it.
Actually, the last 5 years, Florida has owned the ice soccer, which is weird.
I know.
Between Tampa and Florida.
Lord Stanley has a tan, baby.
And before that, it was Carolina.
So, just talking about this, I was
in
at
Las Vegas.
I was at that game.
The Lightning beating the Flames.
Mm-hmm. Game 7. I was there.
Drink out of the cup.
I did. Not
Liar.
that night.
Oh.
I did. Y'all haven't told y'all the story?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you've told us off the show. I don't know if you said it here.
Yeah. So I was one of my best friend at the time.
Was Lord Stanley.
No, he worked at Alltel cell phone place.
Wow.
He was one of their top sales reps. And one of the girls that worked with him had a kid with Vinny LeCavalier. She dated Vinny LeCavalier.
Okay.
So
Apparently
we got to go
more than that if she had a kid with him.
Well, they're not together anymore. They broke up, but she had Vinny LeCavalier's wiener in her. But so when he got the cup, we got to party with it. And I have partied with the Stanley Cup. And I've been to a game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I was in the Alltel suite for that game on center ice. All I know is Vinny LeCavalier Nikolai Habibulin.
Oh,
I don't
Nikolai
even know who that
Habibulin,
is.
yeah.
Bless you, by the way.
And there was a couple other guys on the team.
Ice soccer's dumb. Let's
You're
go on.
dumb.
I just don't get it, man. We went to a hockey game
I
here.
can drink out of a Stanley Cup anytime I want. My daughter owns one.
June 12th, a 1.3 kilogram chondrite-type meteorite strikes a house in Ellerslie, New Zealand. No one is injured, but it causes serious damage. That's 3 pounds for the record.
I was going to ask, what is that in American?
As soon as I wrote that, I go, I need to look how big that is. June 20th, NFL legend Eddie George marries Tamara Johnson in Rockley, New Jersey.
He was fast.
He was very fast. And he can run people over. Do you think there's a possibility that Eddie George is like the most underappreciated running back in the last 30 years? He's up there for sure.
Last 30 years?
Yeah,
Nobody
30
ever
years,
talks about
maybe.
Because like Thurman Thomas, Eddie George, they just
James Brooks.
Sure, he's in the same category.
Okay.
James
Corey Dillon.
Yes, Corey Dillon as well. Corey Dillon, Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Cedric Benson.
No. What was the law firm? What was his name? God.
Benjarvis Green Ellis.
Benjarvis Green Ellis.
Yes. June 24th, Dwight Howard goes number 1 overall in the NBA draft for the Orlando Magic. He was drafted out of high school.
Bust.
He wasn't a bust.
He was a bust.
No, he just kind of flamed out.
Yeah, he flamed out.
He still played like 14 years. I don't know if I really call that a flame out.
But he wasn't good.
He was an all-star for quite a while.
Yeah.
And then he flamed out.
As soon as he got to the Lakers. June 25th, we had the Glastonbury Music Festival in Pilton, England with acts
again.
Paul McCartney.
Again,
James Brown, the Black Eyed Peas, and Oasis is in this one.
James Brown was still alive?
James Brown.
We're in 2004 here.
And the Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah, that's weird.
And Oasis. Paul McCartney.
Surprised they weren't fighting on stage.
I mean, they probably did. I didn't research the festival. They probably did fight each other. June 27th, George Patton IV, or how everyone knows him, General Patton, dies from Parkinson's disease at the age of 80.
I figured he'd have died long before then.
I also thought that. And that's
a different Patton because the real Patton died in 1945.
I was going to say. No, wait a minute. The real Patton was from World War II. He died right after World War II?
He died in a car accident or a Jeep accident. Yeah, in 1945.
Then who's George Patton IV?
Like his great-great-grandson.
The George Patton you're thinking of is George Patton Jr.
Wait, Junior
is his
the fourth.
Okay.
He may have been a general, but nobody knew who the hell he was.
From a car accident. I was like, wait a minute. I went to the Patton Museum. That motherfucker was dead in 2000 when I went to the Patton Museum.
I was at the Patton Museum in 1996. What are we talking about here?
I'm not even sure who we're talking about anymore.
We're talking about George Patton Jr. He
was a professional surfer.
That was 80. Man, the 1940s, that's an excellent
We need to make stories that miss the cut like 2 truths and a lie, where one of them is just complete bullshit.
Would that be hilarious if I just started making shit up to see if anyone caught it?
I was going to say, man, George Patton's been dead for like 80 years. I'm pretty sure he didn't die when I was in Iraq.
Stories at the Wheelhouse, June 10th. One of the most iconic voices, set of glasses, and most genuine people in music history, Ray Charles, passes away at the age of 73. Interestingly enough, we did a story a few weeks ago on Sugar Ray Robinson, the boxer, and none of those names was his real name. He made it up. Well, Ray Charles Robinson is his real name, and he was born on September 23rd, 1930 in Albany, Georgia. His parents were Bailey Robinson and Aretha Robinson. And I got to be honest with you, before this, I haven't seen the movie about him or anything. I didn't know his story. Holy shit.
You've never seen Ray?
No.
Neither have I. Haven't seen it.
I want to.
It's good. I mean, he can't see you, but it's good.
He couldn't see.
Well, he's dead now. I mean, we're literally covering the death of Ray Charles.
They made a movie about him. He couldn't see.
Are you sure this is the right Ray Charles?
It might be a different one. It's a great question. This was the one that was the IndyCar driver. So the beginning of this story's nuts. So if you're listening, prep yourself. When Ray's mother was young, her mother died and her father could not keep her and take care of her. So she was adopted by a man her father worked with, Bailey, and his wife, Mary Jane. If you're wondering to yourself, what a coincidence. The guy that adopted her, his name was Bailey, and Ray's dad's was also named Bailey. Wonder no longer, they were the same guy. When still a child, she was impregnated by Bailey. During the scandal that shortly followed, by the way, Bailey's a stand-up dude, as I'm getting ready to tell you. During the scandal that shortly followed, Aretha moved back to Albany, Georgia. Ray was born, and then she moved back to Greenville, Florida, to be with Bailey and Mary Jane, who, by the way, Mary Jane at this point should be a saint if she's still there, who wanted to help in the upbringing of Ray because they had just lost a son. Then
that's a weird reason, too.
Yeah, it is. Well, especially because you know how this one came to be. Then, to the surprise of no one, being the upstanding citizen Bailey was, he abandoned the family and married someone else somewhere else. Ray took an early liking to mechanical objects, and interest in music began at the age of 3 at Wiley Pittman's Red Ring Cafe, when Wiley himself would play boogie woogie on an upright piano. The rest, as they say, is history, but there's more hardship on the way for Ray.
I'm going to need to see what an upright piano looks like, because that seems weird. Like this?
Yeah.
That's weird.
No, it's like the one they put in the movie Big with your feet.
He couldn't see, though.
But he
Charles started...
He could see then.
Well, let's get to that.
Well,
Charles started to lose his sight at the age of 4 or 5 and was blind by the age of 7, likely as the result of glaucoma. That is early onset glaucoma right there. Despite his initial protest, Charles attended the school at Florida School for the Deaf and Blind in St. Augustine from 1937 to 1945. Charles' mother died in the spring of 1945 when he was 14. Her death came as a shock to him. He later said deaths of his brother and mother were, quote, 2 great tragedies of his life. Charles decided not to return to school after the funeral.
By fusing blues, jazz, rhythm and blues, and gospel music traditions into the music he recorded for Atlantic Records in the 1950s, Charles helped establish the soul music genre. With his crossover success on ABC's records, particularly with his 2 Modern Sounds albums, he helped to integrate country music, rhythm and blues, and pop music during the 1960s. Charles was one of the first Black performers to receive artistic control from a major record label while he was with ABC. The first of Charles's 3 career #1 singles on the Billboard Hot 100, Georgia on My Mind, was released in 1960. His first album to reach the top Billboard 200 was Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music, released in 1962. With 44 hits on the U.S. R&B singles chart, 11 singles on the top 100 singles list, and 2 singles on the Hot Country singles charts, Charles had multiple singles that reached the top 40 on various Billboard charts. Charles was awarded the Polar Music Prize, the National Media of Arts, and the Kennedy Center honors for his contributions to music. In 1986, he was one of the first individuals to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He received 10 of his records into the Grammy Hall of Fame, 18 Grammy Awards, and the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 1987. Charles was placed #2 on Rolling Stone's list of 100 greatest singers of all time, and #10 on the publication's list of 100 greatest artists of all time. He received induction into both Black Music Entertainment Walk of Fame and Country Music Hall of Fame in 2022.
You know what all that says to me?
He was a legend.
Compiler.
Oh, Lord.
You cannot be serious.
But he's no.
No, you shut up. What's going to happen? You shut your dirty face.
He's good at compiling things other than just awards. We'll get to that in just a second. Much like his own father, throughout his life, Charles had many relationships with women with whom he fathered a dozen children. Compiler.
Oh,
Charles was married twice. His first marriage lasted less than a year, which he had a child in. His second lasted 22 years. Due to his drug addiction, extramarital affairs and tours, and volatile behavior, the second marriage deteriorated, and his second marriage with deteriorated.
it's B.
And his second wife, it was supposed to be wife, not with, B, filed for divorce in 1977, and it was finalized after 22 years of marriage. During this 22 years of marriage, he had 3 children with her and 6 children with 6 other women. Compiler.
How? He's blind.
Maybe he was on that website, AshleyMadison.com.
Do you think that's what he told her? I don't know. I was blind. I thought it was you. I just kept sticking it in.
Is Ashley Madison, the web browser, also in Braille?
Ashley Madison used to be, when I had Sirius Radio, they have run commercials on Stern Show all the time.
They're still around.
Is it still around?
Yeah.
About, that's, you use it to cheat on your spouse. Because I remember a few years ago, somebody hacked it and gave out all their information. It was giving out information of all the people that were using it.
Yes.
They are still around.
It's still around, even after that.
Don't search it up. You think you're in the doghouse now.
No.
Charles held a family luncheon for... Hold on. Let me pull this up here real quick. Charles held a family luncheon for his 12 children in 2002, 10 of whom attended. He told them he was mortally ill and $500,000 had been placed in trust for each of the children to be paid out over the next 5 years. Compiler. Compiled those nuts and other women.
You could have just pretended you were one of his kids. I'm here, Dad.
Yeah, he doesn't know. Hi, Dad. You sound awful white. Yeah, it's one of the Shirelles.
Oh. I'm one of the ones from Iowa.
That means it's my turn. Let's go to Timmy's Trivioki.
Figaro.
That's not Tosca.
Ugh, my ears.
My neck, my back.
Yep. I remember. Everyone remembers when Elvis performed that.
Jamaica. Ooh, I want to take you to Bermuda. Bahama. Come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego, baby.
My neck, my back.
Everybody remembers. Who is Tosca, by the way?
I don't know. You said it.
Costco.
Oscar. Costco?
Mosca.
I don't know.
Angelo Mosca.
Angelo Mosca. No, it was 1974.
Is that the guy with the underwear on his head?
No.
No, it was that show, though. He was on that show.
Yeah. All right, let's get to 2004, which I was not good at music. So I'm glad you guys are guessing, not me. Song number 1, clue number 1, not no.
Yes.
Clue number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Clue number 2, Lady in the Street.
Homies trying to get a little V.
Clue number 3, Luda. Clue number 4, Wind It Back.
You know how it feels.
Clue number 5,
Okay. On me. Had to get in the game because you didn't know me. And I decided to leave. Said, come get me. So I got up and followed her to the floor. Said, baby, let's go. Yeah.
And I told her.
And I said, yeah. That's a record.
That might get us banned.
That's a
Why?
record right there.
What?
Why would that get us banned?
Not no. Yeah.
Because
Do it
Dave sounds so
one,
much
TJ.
like him. It's going to get us copyrighted.
Hmm.
All right. Song number 2. Clue number 1. By the way, it was 2-1 last week.
I won
Oh.
3-0 last week, stupid.
Was it?
It was yesterday.
No, it was 2. It was 2-0. 2-0. You didn't get the last one. I had to start
Clean sweep.
singing the last one.
I
was
still got
2-0.
it. I got it first.
All right, so now it's 3. Now it's 3-0. Song number 2. Clue number 1.
Whatever.
Hot Rocks.
8 Mile.
No. Cocky, Kid Rock. Eminem.
Clue number 2. Posse.
Insane Clown Posse.
Clue number 3. Want to hold hands.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
That's a good one.
2004. Clue number 4. D12.
Oh shit. Purple Pills.
Clue number 5. Dressing room smaller than a decimal. These chicks don't even know the name of my band. But they're all on me like they want to hold hands. Because when I blow, they know that I'll be the man. And I said,
because I'm the lead singer of my band. My band. My band.
my band,
My
my
band.
band,
My
my band.
band. I don't know, Marsh, dude.
Step-ins is so confused. 3-0.
You don't know my band? These chicks don't even know the name
All right, I got one in
band.
his wheelhouse now. Song number 3, clue number 1, Canadian.
Nickelback.
Clue number 2, band.
Pitcher.
Clue number
Rockstar.
3, gonna make it all
Rockstar.
right.
I'm through standing in lines of clubs never.
Clue number
give.
4, not today.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow never dies. Tomorrow never comes.
Clue number 5, how the hell
We wind up
like
like this.
this?
Angel?
No, it is Nickelback.
No, we
but
kicked her
what's
out.
the name of it?
No shit.
Oh,
Nothing's wrong, just as long as you know that someday I will.
Someday.
Hinder.
someday,
Somehow.
we're gonna bring it
I'm thinking of
up
Hinder.
right
Right
now.
now.
I know you must be wondering.
All right. Well, that was
I just got a DM on X that said, hello, greetings from the great Illuminati Brotherhood.
I feel like I had a real strong showing in trivia.
You did guess the band first on song 3. Good job.
I do enjoy when you're like, should I pick a song for TJ to get one? Nah, fuck that.
All right. I told you 2004.
You picked the worst song from that album.
It was the only one on the Hot 100 at that point. Sorry. I go by the charts.
Again,
Chicks
we
don't even know the. Now I have my band stuck in my head.
Over 3 years of the show, and we haven't had Boston on this show one time or Journey.
We've only done the 70s like 3 times.
Nobody likes Boston.
Talked about
I
Peter.
think Boston was more popular in the
ago.
early 80s. Anyway,
Like a knight in shining armor from a long time ago. Karate Kid 2. Excellent movie.
okay. June 15th, one of the biggest NBA Finals upsets in the history of basketball, the Detroit Pistons beat the Lakers in Game 5, 100-87 to win the NBA title. When a basketball fan hears the Lakers and the Piston NBA Finals, you automatically think of the late 80s Lake Show versus the Motor City Bad Boys. But this unlikely group of stars from Detroit cemented themselves by taking down the team that free agency bought, and they did it in only 5 games. The previous season, the Lakers were going for a three-peat, only to be stopped in the Western Conference Finals by Tim Duncan and the San Antonio Spurs.
Also a compiler. He's like Ray Charles. And he's overrated.
He does it with sports ball, not with his balls.
Not with his wiener.
Needing a point guard and a power
He's doing the
forward.
same thing that hockey guy was doing that Dave was talking about.
Raw dog.
That girl was fire too.
Oh, I would hope so.
Man, I could play hockey.
Well, he was a professional ice soccer player. I hope so. He's not out the club going, hey, that chick's fat. I'll take her home.
Yeah. Hey, what's your name? Martha? Why don't you come on over here? Needing a point guard and a power forward that could guard Duncan, they signed Gary Payton and Karl Malone. The players agreed to sign for well below market value, giving the Lakers even more depth, while also giving those two players hopes of winning their first rings. The Pistons, meanwhile, had essentially faded into obscurity after the NBA title in 1990. However, the 2000s brought some hope as they had won 2 consecutive division titles and gave Rick Carlisle the NBA Coach of the Year in 2002. To celebrate his award, the team fired him in 2003. Then at the deadline, GM Joe Dumars executed a 3-team trade that sent Chucky Atkins, Lindsey Hunter, Bobby Sura, and Zeljko Rabraka for Mike James and Rasheed Wallace.
It's Mike
Wallace's-
James, bitch.
No, it's a different guy.
Mike Jones.
Wallace's
Who,
inside
Mike
prowess and
Jones?
toughness on defense proved to be the missing piece for the Pistons. To add even more intrigue, the Pistons beat the Indiana Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals, led by former coach Rick Carlisle. Now we had a David and Goliath matchup. There were 6 Hall of Famers players in the series, and both coaches, Phil Jackson of the Lakers and Larry Brown of the Pistons.
After Detroit won game 1 by 12, shocking the world, the Lakers responded by winning game 2 in overtime to even the series. Kobe Bryant hit a crazy 3 with under 2 seconds left to send it into overtime. This could have been a sweep.
Nope.
The rest will go down in history. So back in those days, it was played 2-3-2. So 2 games in LA, 3 in Detroit, 2 back in LA.
Baseball rules.
Pistons were able to win the 3 remaining games, all played in Detroit, by 28 and 13 to go on to win the series in what TJ said earlier, one of the biggest upsets in NBA history. The Lakers were huge favorites, not only during the regular season, but also in the playoffs, as they specifically signed Karl Malone and Gary Payton to make sure they didn't lose to San Antonio again. The heart and soul of Detroit in the form of Rasheed Wallace was just too much, though. The team was tough on defense and had enough offense to win the games they needed to. The Lakers' collapse became apparent in the days following the finals. Head coach Phil Jackson abruptly resigned. Shaquille O'Neal was traded to the Miami Heat, where he eventually won a championship in 2006. Gary Payton was dealt to the Celtics, and Karl Malone was left unsigned, which subsequently resulted in Malone's retirement.
It's like the mail system today. No one delivered the mailman.
Yep. The 04-05 season was a tough one for the Lakers, and they won just 34 games and missed the playoffs. Jackson returned to the Lakers in the following offseason, despite penning a book dubiously entitled The Last Season, a team in search of its soul, in which he voiced disdain for Kobe Bryant, calling him uncoachable. Jackson and Bryant would quickly bury the hatchet once the season began. The duo, and in the ensuing years, would appear in 3 more NBA finals in 08, 09, and 2010, winning the latter 2.
Let's talk one of the integral parts of this series, Gary Payton. Payton's nickname of the Glove, in reference to his defensive skills, was popularized during the 1993. By the way, that's 11 years before this, so Gary Payton was old as shit here.
Mm-hmm.
Western Conference Final Series against Phoenix. Payton is well known for his trash talk. He received the 4th most technical fouls of all time behind Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, and Rasheed Wallace with 250. Isn't it weird that 2 of those 3 were also in this series? It's crazy. Of his trash talking, Payton has stated, quote, "I never take it too far. I just try to talk and get in their mind off the game and then turn their attention on me." Adding that, quote, "Sometimes I get accused of trash talking, even though I'm not. Referees and spectators immediately figure your trash talking, but I could be talking to the guy about what's going on or asking about his family. I highly doubt he's doing that."
No.
Hey, your wife still got them huge titties?
It's like that scene out of Major League. "I saw your wife at the lounge last night. What was she doing making out with that other guy?" In his 17-year career, Payton missed only 25 games. At one point, he held the longest active streak for consecutive games played with 356. The streak ended in January of 2001.
Now all these wusses have to take back-to-back games off.
Right?
It's absurd.
They
They're
make
all
$100
the
million
time.
and can't work every day.
But here's what I respect most about him. Since the Sonics moved to Oklahoma City, Payton has openly expressed his desire not to have his retired jersey number in Oklahoma City as part of that team's history. He wishes instead for it to remain in Seattle, where he enjoyed the majority of his career success and popularity. This seems likely as the Supersonics team name, colors, uniforms, and trophies are remaining in Seattle for a possible future team to adopt upon arrival. It's going to happen here pretty soon, I'm going to bet.
I just heard a report it wasn't really a report. I was watching a show, and they talked about the expansion coming up. And they said right now the two front runners for expansion in the NBA is Las Vegas, like they need another fucking sports team, and Mexico City.
Oh, horse shit. They're not going
How
to
do you
Mexico
not bring a
City.
team back to Seattle?
Should be Seattle and either Nashville or Cincinnati.
Should be Huntsville.
And again, it's just like Major League Baseball. If you're going to have expansion, one of those expansion teams better be the Montreal Expos. Otherwise, what are we doing?
No.
They got a nice soccer team. They don't need any more.
I know what we're doing.
Hold on. I'm not done yet.
You are done yet.
Okay.
Are you done yet?
Despite no official acknowledgement from the Thunder, they have not issued the number 20 to any player since their relocation. They like him too.
Either
I'm
that or
done.
they just won't issue it because they're scared of him.
Trash talked him.
Yeah. Dave's ready.
But today, I'm the greatest of all time.
Vernon and Waugh. Mike Vernon with a great left.
Here it is. H. Pressure with three. Winston's going to run the ball. Makes a guy miss. Comes down to over the second rafter. Off the floor. Nothing. Through the window. Off the wall. Nothing but net. You like that? You like that? I like that.
You gotta like that, right?
(2003, 2004) NBA league leaders.
I'm excited.
And again, I will say this every time. This is a reminder. When the website I use for NBA does top 20, not top 10. So more chances for you guys to get some answers right. So we're going to, but you guys don't normally do well in basketball. So let's start off with 6 here for points per game. Can you give me 6?
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant, 4th, 24. There's one.
2004.
Shaq.
Shaq was 11th, 21 and a half.
Tracy McGrady.
Tracy McGrady led the league with 28.
Dirk Nowitzki.
Dirk Nowitzki was 9th, 21.8.
The compiler.
Steve Nash.
Steve Nash, no.
The
LeBron
compiler.
James.
LeBron James, 13th, 20.9.
Carmelo
The compiler.
You won't say his
Tim
name,
Duncan.
so- what did Dave say?
Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony. We'll go with that one since he actually said that one first. 12th with 21. Here's the rest of your top 20. Jason Richardson, Sean Marion. How about that one?
The Matrix.
Oh, Sean Marion, yeah.
Sam Cassell.
Florida
Zach
State Seminole
Randolph.
legend.
That's right. Zach Randolph, Jermaine O'Neal, Stephon Marbury, Corey Maggette, Michael Redd of the Milwaukee Bucks,
Ohio State legend.
Tim Duncan was 8th, Vince Carter, Baron Davis, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and 2nd of the Sacramento Kings, Peja Stojakovic.
Wasn't Garnett MVP this year?
I believe he was, yes. This was the year he was MVP. Let's do rebounds.
Kevin Garnett.
Tim
Top
Duncan.
20. We'll do 5. Kevin Garnett led the league, 13.9.
Tim Duncan.
2nd, 12.4.
I got one. Yao Ming.
Yao Ming, 15th with 9.
Shaq.
Shaquille O'Neal. You ready for this? No.
Ben Wallace.
Karl Malone.
Ben Wallace,
is good.
3rd, 12.4. There's 4.
How many we need?
One more.
Jermaine O'Neal.
Jermaine O'Neal, 11th, had 10 flat. Here's the rest. Antoine Walker, Antonio Davis, Joe Smith, PJ Brown hanging around in 2004. Dirk Nowitzki was 16th.
I think you got to up these numbers because they're 20. We're getting a lot more.
Yeah.
Sean Marion, okay, cocky. Lamar
Next time we're
Odom,
going 12.
Danielle Marshall, Marcus Camby, Kenny Thomas, Brad Miller, Jamal McGlory.
Kenyon Martin.
No, of course not. Zach Randolph, Carlos Boozer, and Eric Dampier was 4th.
Bill Lambier.
Yes. Let's do assists per game. Timmy's being a dick, so let's do 10. We
Steve
up the
Nash.
Steve Nash, 3rd, 8.8.
Stephon Marbury.
2nd, 8.9.
Jason Kidd.
Led the league, 9.2.
Jason Williams.
7th, 6.8.
Mike Bibby.
Repeat that.
Mike Bibby.
Mike Bibby, 18th, 5.4.
How many was that? Tony Parker.
Tony Parker. Yeah, that was who I was
Tony
thinking.
Parker, 16th, 5.5.
How many we got
Chauncey
now?
Billups.
That was 7. He was 15th, 5.7. Need 3 more.
Chauncey Billups?
White Chocolate.
Didn't you just
That was
said
Jason
Chauncey
Williams. That's what
Yeah.
I said.
Oh.
Already
You also
said that.
guessed Jason Williams, so you got 3 more.
LeBron James.
LeBron James, 13th, 5.9.
Baron Davis.
4th, 7.5.
How many we need? We need one more.
One more. Give us some teams. Gary Payton.
17th, 5.5. Here's the rest of your top 20.
Duh.
Are you ready for this? Vlade Divac was 20th, 5.3.
Smoking a cigarette the whole time.
Jason Terry,
You?
Damon Jones, Damon Stoudemire, Andre Miller, Jeff McGinnis,
Nick
Oh,
Van
North
Exel.
Carolina Tar Heel legend.
Kirk Heinrich, Eric Snow, and 5th, the only one of the top 5 you missed, Sam Cassell was 5th. 7.
Florida State Seminole legend.
And that was Box for Trivia. You know what, guys?
We do good when we
Well
work
done.
together.
Yeah.
Well done. June,
That
I
was
like
good
that.
one.
I upped the number because Timmy's being a dick, and you fucking nailed it. I don't even think you got it one wrong in the time that it says.
Well, I mean,
June
we had
30th.
20 shots at it, so
That's true. Looking back at it now, the 2000s were solid for blockbusters, and 2004 was no different, as this marks the release of the highly anticipated Spider-Man 2. Coming off of the massive commercial success of the first one, Marvel Comics and Columbia Pictures were hoping to strike gold a second time, or as I put, strike golf. The film
They
was directed
did.
by...
They struck golf.
They sure
Trust
did.
me.
The film was directed by Sam Raimi and starred Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, James Franco, Alfred Molina, Rosemary Harris, and Donna Murphy. This is the second year of Peter Parker becoming Spider-Man. He has had his share of difficulties as his relationships with Mary Jane and Harry Osborn have become strained.
Well, he
Add
killed
on
his
top-
dad. I mean,
He did. Well, not he does
Sorta.
later. He's not like this early in the movie.
well, maybe
And
he
on
shouldn't
top
have
of-
been
no, he
standing
killed
there.
him at the end of the first one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, he did. And on top of this, that his Aunt May is facing eviction outside of his regular guy existence.
Poor.
His abilities as Spider-Man.
Aunt May?
If you didn't run a damn brothel out of there, his abilities as Spider-Man have started to show signs of disappearing. Often when he's in a life-threatening situation. Mary
Bad
Jane-
time.
Nah, me too. I have a real bad Oh, sorry, I got nervous. Mary Jane later, but you're just so beautiful. Mary Jane later becomes engaged to John Jameson, and Peter's life is coming apart at the seams.
Am I the only one that thinks Kirsten Dunst is ugly?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do not.
She is all the way live, particularly in this movie. Ooh, God,
No, she's ugly.
no.
Oh, let me
What is
see.
wrong
Kirsten
with
Dunst
you?
is ugly. I said it.
TJ, put it on the poll.
Wait, we
Is
have this.
Kristen
Hold
Dunst
on.
ugly?
Hold on. We need to do this. Let's do this.
She's ugly. We're gonna do a poll on Facebook.
Okay. I don't have Facebook, so I won't be able to vote
I
on
meant
it.
not
No,
Facebook.
we have Twitter.
X.
He tries
We're
to go
gonna-
back to he tries to go back to just being Peter, but the city's rising crime rate has him worried. In this movie, the crew used a system called the Spider Cam, which was used to allow filmmakers to express the film through the eyes of Spider-Man. This included dropping the camera in a free fall for 50 stories and could quickly traverse an area of 3,200 feet. The film was shot on a $200 million budget and grossed a staggering $795.9 million.
On review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, Spider-Man 2 holds an approval rating of 93% based on 276 reviews, with an average score of 8.3 out of 10. The website's critical consensus reads, boasting an entertaining villain and deeper emotional focus, this is a nimble sequel that improves upon the original. The Chicago Tribune gave the film 3.5 stars out of 4. No way. And Mark Caro stated that Alfred Molina was a pleasingly complex villain as the film as a whole improves upon its predecessor in almost every way.
It's wrong.
I thought 1 was better than 2. 2 was good.
I don't think
1
I've
was
watched
better.
I think Dave is also wrong.
She's ugly.
You're insane.
You're out of your fucking mind, bro.
Her face is ugly.
What?
She has nice hooters. Her face looks like it got hit with
I
a
could see
cricket
them
bat.
in the picture. I can see them.
What? Her
She's
fa-
ugly.
No.
Yeah.
She's not at all. She's
She
very
has weird
beautiful.
movement with her mouth. Love you, Peter.
Is she like Kirk Cousins? You got like that, right?
Yeah, all right. Hey, Peter. Yeah, all right. All right. Roger Ebert gave Spider-Man 2 out of or 2. Roger Ebert gave Spider-Man 2 4 out of 4 stars, calling it the best superhero movie since the modern genre was launched with Superman from 1978.
Well, that's nuts.
And
So he
praising
gave
the
it 8
film,
stars.
he gave Spider-Man 2 4 out of 4.
Oh, I thought you said he gave 2 4 stars out of 4.
Spider-Man 2 4 stars.
He went all Meltzer. He's like, it's 8 out of 4 stars.
Roger Ebert gave Spider-Man 2, 4 out of 4 stars. Praising the film for effortlessly combining special effects and a human story, keeping its parallel plots alive and moving. He later called it the 4th best film of 2004.
What the heck? He's as wrong about that as you are about her.
She's ugly. Spider-Man 2 has frequently been listed among rankings of the best superhero films. Kirsten Dunst is no Diana Hart-Smith. The film was placed 411th on Empire Magazine's top 500 movie list, describing the film as bigger and better than its predecessor, with a supervillain in Alfred Molina's Doc Ock and a more confident Raimi sneaking in some of his own trademarks. In 2013, Forbes described it as not just one of the greatest sequels, but one of the best films of the genre, period. In 2018, Film School Rejects called it the best summer movie ever and said its emotional and calculated story stands above modern summer flicks like those of the Avengers and The Dark Knight.
Well, that's
I
blasphemy.
call bullshit because Transformers was better than this.
Never seen it.
Well, no, it wasn't. But to say this was better than The Dark Knight is absurd.
Correct. This
The Dark Knight's
all right,
not even the best of that trilogy.
of this series. You're right. I love the one where they blow up Pittsburgh.
Bane is the Bane one's the best one. Dark Knight Rises.
But
It's sad.
in this series, the first one is really good. The third one is really good. This one is like, it's not a bad film. I liked it, but to like heap all that praise on it,
I think it's really. They're all 3 of these movies are really, really good.
it is the
the first
third
one's
best
the best.
of those 3.
Now I think it's the second. I think it's better than the third.
I don't know. Anyway, but to like say it's better than the Avengers or the Dark Knight, you're out of your fucking mind.
It is better than the first Avengers.
You're wrong.
Your mama's wrong.
Okay. You think Kirsten Dunst is ugly?
She
Yeah,
is
there you
ugly.
go. Wrong.
Look at her. She got a lazy eye.
What? You just call it the Robert Gibson of damsels in distress?
Only when she looks at you does she have a lazy eye.
She sees Timmy. She's like,
A lazy eye.
I hate,
What is
I hate
happening?
you. What are you doing?
Oh.
All right. Fun facts. Rosemary Harris, or as Dave called her, the whore Aunt May, enjoyed doing her own stunts. Contrarily, Alfred Molina didn't like because he claims he's not very good at them and he doesn't like taking work away from real stuntmen. Right, pussy.
Mm.
Willem Dafoe was not originally supposed to return for this movie, but he was walking back to his apartment one night and saw the cast and crew filming nearby. He stopped by the set to say hello, and the filmmakers decided to give him a cameo appearance. Hey, hop in this multi-million-dollar film, please. Okay. You found the worst picture of her on the internet, and she's still pretty hot.
I'm not even sure that's a real person you just showed us.
It's AI.
Look like a Pinocchio doll.
she looking like a man.
No, she doesn't. She is a beautiful. What is wrong with you?
She's a handsome woman.
The violinist who crops up through the movie serenading Spider-Man had an additional scene that was deleted from the film. When Harry hears her from the balcony of his father's townhouse, he pours a glass of scotch on her. That's a way to go right there.
Also, where were they filming? Like in a park somewhere where Willem Dafoe could just wander up like, hey guys, good to see you in town.
I don't know if you've ever been to New York City, but lots of people are there, including lots of actors.
Oh, and they just let random fucktards just wander through the scenes they're filming in movies?
No, he's Willem fucking Dafoe. He can go where he wants. And he'll talk like this.
He was way better in what's that movie?
Speed 2.
Boondock Saints. Did you say
My
Speed
clip.
2?
Yeah,
No one's seen that.
I saw it. Somebody
on-
said that on Facebook or on Twitter the other day. What's
That
the
was
best
on,
Willem Dafoe
like,
movie
the
that's not
Ocean Liner
whatever?
or
And I
something,
put
right?
Speed 2.
It's wrong.
All right, pause. And we're back.
Are we?
So I figured out what Dave is doing.
He's looking.
Paying honor to Ray Charles because
He's looking at thong bikinis that are banned in Florida.
Is
was last
playing fucking blind by saying that Kirsten Dunst is ugly.
She's ugly. Hit the clip.
Oh, it's time for Dave's Fave. Have you seen it?
You slip her the hot beef injection.
You probably
Timmy
think
Lee.
Anna Kendrick is ugly too, don't you?
Her face is too narrow, guys.
Yeah.
Anna Kendrick's way hotter than Kirsten Dunst.
I mean, I'm not one to say
Even in
like
that cheerleader movie, Kirsten Dunst was the ugliest.
Oh my god.
Timmy leads 13-12, but since TJ secretly told me that Kirsten Dunst is a 3 out of 12, he now leads 17-2. Let's go. Movie number A with a budget of $20 million. Our first movie this week grossed more than $168.4 million at the box office. This is one of Dave's faves. This is an American comedy movie. Totally not science fiction adventure film that I have written here. A group of misfits from Average Joe Gym enter a tournament in Las Vegas in order to win $50,000 to save their cherished gym from the onslaught of corporate health fitness chain Globo Gym. This film stars Vince Vaughn and Ben Stiller.
Hold on, it's a long title.
It is. It's not that long.
Timmy C, just say it out loud.
Dodgeball, a true underdog story.
There you go. TJ.
Oh, I only put, sorry, wrong side. I only put dodgeball and underdog story.
You get the point.
Even though I was exactly right.
Both. Movie number B with a budget of $50 million. Our second movie this week grossed more than $208.1 million at the box office.
It's good.
Did not change that either because this is not an American teen comedy film. John Arbuckle buys a second pet, an annoying dog that likes to lick everything. The dog ends up being abducted, and it's up to John's cat to find and rescue the pup. This film stars Bill Murray, Breckin Meyer, and Jennifer Love Hewitt. TJ.
Garfield.
Timmy.
Also Garfield.
You're both wrong. It's Garfield the movie. But you both get points. All right, here we go. With a budget of $37 million, movie number C grossed more than $113.1 million at the box office. This film's one of Dave's faves. Two disgraced FBI agents go undercover in an effort to protect hotel heiresses, the Wilson sisters, from a kidnapping plot. This film stars Sean and Marlon Wayans. By the way, it's a comedy film.
I have no idea.
What?
I won't even bother writing an answer down. I have no clue.
I put White Girls, the movie.
No, it's White Chicks.
Ah,
Dummy.
The movie.
Never seen it.
Dude, you've never seen White Chicks?
No.
You should watch it. It
looks
Dude,
like
he's
dog
dated
shit,
lots
so
of
I'm
them,
not gonna
never
watch
seen it.
Dude, it's funny as shit. You have to watch White Chicks. Especially this day and age with everybody with, lore.
It doesn't age well.
No. Well, I
when
mean,
you're
but,
talking about political correctness.
all right, here we go. I just saw this film last year. It's from 2004. Just last year. Not White Chicks, this film. On a budget of $60 million. Our fourth movie this week grossed more than $219.1 million at the box office. This is an American comedy drama film. An Eastern European tourist unexpectedly finds himself stranded in JFK Airport and must take up temporary residence there. This film stars Tom Hanks and Catherine Zeta-Jones. Timmy C is correct. TJ.
Lost in Translation.
No, The Terminal. Timmy C with a commanding lead.
Bill Murray.
Wasn't Bill Murray, it was Tom Hanks.
No, Lost in Translation.
Oh,
was
yeah.
Bill Murray.
Never seen it. Sounds dumb.
And
I haven't seen it.
who the chick from the Avengers, Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, does he bang her?
Yeah, he does actually.
Epic. All right, last movie of the week. Here we go. We have 5.
When you wish you were in Groundhog Day, when you're banging Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. Here we go. You guys ready? Our last movie this week grossed $46.1 million at the box office on a budget of $400,000.
Oh.
Oh, okay. I was like, God, Jesus.
Woo! Boy, I was like, holy shit.
This is an American independent coming-of-age teen comedy film. A listless and alienated teenager decides to help his new friend win the class presidency in their small Western high school while he must deal with his bizarre family life back home. This film stars John Heder and Efren Ramirez.
Efren.
Timmy C.
Napoleon Dynamite.
TJ Stevens.
Napoleon.
Yes. 400,000.
By the way, little known fact, you mentioned the cheerleader movie. It was called Bring It On. Gary Payton dated Eliza Dushku from Bring It On.
No, he didn't. Rick Fox did.
Oh, yeah, Rick Fox. Yes. For like 5 years.
It was like 8 years.
He was way older than her.
Yeah, she's way hot too. Eliza Dushku, way hot. That was the only reason I ever watched that movie 74 times.
Just like 7 scenes of it, right?
And then the new guy came out. That movie, The New Guy with her in it. Yep. She's totally spankable.
But you think, okay.
Eliza Dushku, hot. Kirsten Dunst, ugly.
Wrong. They're both very hot. They're very
Eliza
attractive women.
Dushku's like a goddess.
Hmm.
Have a
Well-
threesome with her and my wife.
Mm.
She has very
Make her
dark
do the
hair.
old mask trick. You put this on the back of your head. All right, deep cut. June 4th, in one of the craziest and most moist in the good start. In one of the craziest and most bizarre acts of domestic terrorism you've ever heard of, Marvin Heermeyer takes a citizen.
Time out.
You got to.
We have 3 votes on our poll so far, and it's Kirsten Dunst, hot or not leads 2-1.
You voted.
I only voted once.
Well, no one else. So it's tied. If me and TJ vote, we're winning.
Shit. Let me get on all our other Facebook pages.
Anywho, in one of the craziest and most bizarre acts of domestic terrorism that you've never heard of, Marvin Heermeyer takes the citizens of Granby, Colorado on a nightmare ride they'd never forget.
Well, they're living in Granby, so.
Well, okay. Insert town name here. This is batshit crazy. We're going to go through this whole crazy story and get into why Marvin thought what he did was justified. But this is domestic terror. This is literally the definition of it. Heermeyer had several causes he took up, often to the extreme. In the late 1994, he was into gambling legalization in Grand Lake, Colorado, and even campaigned for local office with that as his platform, which is flimsy at best. As a
Good plan. I like it.
All fine. I don't hate it. Again, it's kind of a flimsy platform. I don't hate it though. That's how you do that. While on the campaign trail, a news reporter who was opposed to the gambling bill asked Heermeyer about the proposal, and not too long after that, the two nearly came to blows, as a reasonable discourse usually happens.
Don't fuck with him.
This was 2 years after Heermeyer had bought 2 acres of property for $42,000 at an auction, with plans to lease the property to a friend to build an auto repair site, also known as a mechanic's garage. After taking control of the property, it was discovered that the property's sewage system, I'm not making this up. The sewage system was a buried cement mixer left by the previous owners.
Not his fault.
You're literally shitting in a tanker truck. I don't know what to do with that. To fix the sewage, it would be roughly the same price he'd just pay for the property. He was also presented with another option, a septic tank. He rejected both solutions and said that the government not paying for the sewage line hookup was extortion by government fiat. My wife and I are exploring the option of buying property and building a house. And now at this point, the first thing I'm going to try him to do is be like, well,
is there a tanker truck down there, by the way?
Yeah, my property needs a septic tank. And they're like, we agree. And I go, you should buy it. That's the first thing I'm going to say. You should absolutely buy that. Well, we don't do that. That's not what we do. Extortion! And I'm just going to start yelling words at them.
It doesn't cost that much to put a septic tank in. I did it. Guy's being a cheap ass.
He later paid to have the sewage system annexed and became a user of the sewage system. Then there's the Dochev family. They were local celebrities in Granby as they owned a huge concrete plant and had plans to expand. In fact, they wanted to buy the adjoining 23 lots and essentially make an industrial park with their expanded plant as the centerpiece. For those listening, that's not a cheap proposal. That's several $1 million, even in 1994. When they asked Heermeyer, he said they could have his property for $250,000. Mind you, he bought it for $42,000 with a cement truck and sewage system. Then immediately, he had said that the property was reappraised and upped the amount to $375,000. When I say immediately, it's like 2 days later.
Hey, the price yesterday is not the price today.
Well, the Dochefs offered $350,000, but Heermeyer again raised the price due to another appraisal, making the new price $450,000.
Price yesterday, not today, baby.
Oh, did I forget to mention the cement truck is gold plated? Did I add that part? We
No,
just
it's
figured that
full of
out.
shit at this point.
Yeah. The Dochefs then bought a defunct commercial subdivision. Heermeyer asked to do a land swap, so the subdivision for his lot. And the Dochefs actually agreed, which kind of tells me they're idiots because I never would have agreed to that. Until this douche canoe, Heermeyer, insisted they build a brand new shop for Heermeyer on the industrial subdivision first.
Couldn't buy him a pole barn? What
Where
what
does
kind
this
of
guy
cheap
get
assholes?
off?
They're trying to build a multi-million-dollar thing and won't build him a little pole barn building. Piss off.
This dude is like the most self-entitled sumbitch I've ever read about or
This
seen
is
in my
Timmy's hero.
He's my hero. He's my
Yeah, I
spirit
know, and-
animal.
You said that in the group text earlier today, and I was like, I don't know if that's the word I'd use. Marvin then went on a smear campaign saying that the Dochefs were environmental nightmares and often broke EPA laws. He actually gained some supporters too, until the Dochefs agreed to install new and additional measures to reduce dust and noise from their plant and incoming industrial park. This eased the mind of the protesters, and Heermeyer was now alone as the town now realized he had a vendetta against the concrete magnates. After this, Heermeyer's concrete mixer sewage system failed. Who would have saw that coming? And was actually caught illegally dumping sewage and fined, then found in contempt of town code. Then in April 2002, he bought a bulldozer in an auction. This is where the fun starts.
The bulldozer was a modified Komatsu D35 or D355 Alpha, which he referred to as the MK tank or Marv's Komatsu tank in audio recordings. It was fitted with makeshift armor plating covering the cabin, engine, and parts of the tracks. The Killdozer was immune to all forms of small arm fire and was highly resistant to explosives.
And they tried.
The local police and Denver SWAT team fired about 200 rounds of rifle and handgun ammunition at this thing, but all the bullets harmlessly bounced off the Killdozer's impenetrable metal hide. Even flashbangs and frag grenades were chucked at this bitch to no effect.
Mm-hmm.
For visibility, the bulldozer was fitted with several video cameras linked to 2 monitors mounted on the vehicle's dashboard. The cameras were protected on the outside by 3-inch shields of clear, bulletproof Lexan.
Lexon.
Compressed air nozzles were fitted to blow dust away from the video cameras so he could still see. This guy's a genius.
He is.
You think he's
could've-
crazy? He's a genius.
He could have done so much good. Instead, he built a tank.
Yes.
Onboard fans and an air conditioner were used to keep Heermeyer cool while driving. He had made 3 gun ports fitted for a 50 cal rifle, a 308 semi-auto rifle, and a 22 rifle, all fitted with 1/2-inch steel plate. At the time of the demolition, it also contained 3 handguns and enough food and water to last a week. This guy was insane,
Yes.
but a genius.
A genius, but he's just batshit.
Crazy like a fox. Dude was a genius and may have been a little off kilter. So let's run down the day that he had here in June in 2004. Holy shit. On June 4th, 2004, starting at around 2:15 p.m., Heermeyer began his rampage by driving his armored bulldozer through Mountain Park concrete owned by the Dochef family. Several employees attempted to stop the bulldozer by cramming objects in the treads in order to jam it to no effect. Cody Dochef, initially believing the dozer to be under remote control, fired a pistol at it, pussy, and attempted to climb on top to no effect because it's a tank.
Well, yeah, he forgot it. He forgot his RPG at home. What do you call him a pussy for? There was a literal concrete tank coming for his building, and he was like,
All right,
"Fuck it,
so
pistol, here we go.
This
Don't fail
thing
me
comes
now."
at you. This thing right here comes at you, and you're like, I bet my 9 will take that out. Wrong.
I'd have hit him with my Camry. head on.
That was the last of Dave. He died.
So after he fired his 9 at it, he tried to hop on it, didn't work. Grabbed his own front end loader, that also did not work. During this time, Heermeyer fired multiple rounds at the loader. A deputy from sheriff's office arrived on the scene, followed by a Colorado State Patrol trooper who was also fired at by Heermeyer. At one point, Heermeyer charged at a firing position occupied by several state troopers who evacuated mere seconds before he demolished it, with one eyewitness noting they had taken any longer, they would have been killed. At the concrete plant, Heermeyer turned onto Agate Avenue and headed south toward town at approximately 5 miles an hour. I picture this being
And nothing could stop him.
I picture this being like the steamroller scene in Austin Powers. The guy's like, no!
The news videos look like that because he was literally surrounded by cops just idling down the street. But it actually worked against him in the fact they were essentially able to evacuate the town.
Well,
he wasn't
trying to kill people. I don't think. Well, he may. Who knows?
I don't think he would have been against the idea.
He wasn't actively seeking it.
Wait, hold on. Let's think about what you just said.
You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
He had a 50 cal, a 308, and a 9mm on board. And I don't think he wanted to kill anybody. What do you do?
Scare him. So the officers
going after the
plant,
concrete company.
Yeah. Well, in a couple other places. We'll get to that in just a second. The officers at the plant, after he leaves, request a reverse 911 call, which is weird, be made to all residents in order to initiate evacuations. Under sheriff, which is not a title I've ever heard, Glenn Trainer climbed atop the bulldozer and rode it, quote, like a Bronc buster trying to figure out a way to get a bullet inside the dragon. Colorado is so weird.
Why do we not have this in a movie?
That footage is in the Netflix documentary. Him doing.
But I need a movie starring Vince Vaughn and Will Ferrell.
Vince Vaughn as Heermeyer
with a saddle on the Killdozer.
And Timmy as the undersheriff.
It's like every time he comes out, it goes dong.
Did the undersheriff tear his bicep?
Maybe.
Riding the Bronco.
Riding it like a bronc. But then he was trying to get a bullet inside the dragon. So now he's riding a dragon. Heermeyer then advanced on Granby Town Hall, which had been hosting a story hour for children in its library when the rampage began. By the way, like 7 hours had passed because he was going 5 miles an hour. Everyone was in bed. Heermeyer turned to the Liberty Savings Bank, Liberty Savings Bank, where he aimed at the corner office where a woman who was part of the zoning board worked. He was very specified where he was going.
Well, again, we'll explain why we can joke about this at the end of this, but if you're at the bank, if you think at one point, look at the window, like, hey, look, there's a fucking bulldozer like slowly rolling. Can we move? Like, what
that
is
thing's
that
getting
about?
closer. What are we doing?
I mean, we've got like a half hour. It's not going that fast.
Yeah. Heermeyer next targeted several street fixtures such as trees and traffic lights before moving on to the offices of the local newspaper and in turn the homes of the Thompson family and their workplace. A scraper was brought up to try to stop the bulldozer, but it was pushed aside because it's a bulldozer. Heermeyer next targeted a propane storage yard, firing 15 bullets at the tanks, some of which contained 30,000 gallons. Holy shit.
That's fine.
That's a bomb at that point.
No, it's more than a bomb.
So that didn't work. So then he fired upon nearby power transformers with a high risk of igniting the tanks, but struggled to find a good angle because you're moving 5 miles an hour. Heermeyer hit the transformers once and missed the other shots. Heermeyer left that site and finally attacked the Gamble store, targeting it due to the owner's involvement in the hearings about the batch plant. Unaware of a small basement in the property, Heermeyer drove and dropped a tread into the basement. The only thing that could kill Killdozer was a basement. The radiator had been damaged and the engine was leaking before failing. About a minute later at 4:30 Mountain Time, one of the SWAT team members who had swarmed around the machine reported hearing a single gunshot from inside the cab. It was later determined that Heermeyer had shot himself in the head with a .357 caliber handgun. After getting inside, they found an access hatch and enough food and water, like Dave said, to last a week.
I bet they found a mess in there.
Yeah, his brains and yeah.
Which is fun. It's enough food and water for a week. Where were you going?
In case he got caught.
At 4 miles an hour. Where are you going?
His fuel would not have lasted a week.
No, that's what I'm saying. And again, the reason why we can sit here and talk about this now.
He eats a lot. Okay, he was a
Well,
big guy.
He wasn't.
I know he wasn't.
He was relatively slight. But the reason why we can joke about this now is the only person that died in this whole thing was him. Everyone else survived.
I need this in a movie.
Yeah, it is. The smartest guy, the smartest guy in this entire story died. That's not. No, we don't like that.
Well,
I think Bill Cosby should be in it.
And do it for
Will you
real.
see?
Good
You're
to see. You're kicking up the dust in the face. I don't like it.
All right, this story is bananas, guys. I love it.
I call it the most just bizarre, controversial. Well, controversial is the right word. Timmy's the only motherfucker I remember that likes this guy. He's batshit.
So
Timmy's
how I
voting for Killdozer in 2024.
how I brought this story to you guys was Sarah and I were leaving Topgolf, and we're standing out waiting for our Uber, and there's a group of guys over next to us. She goes, "Holy shit, look at his shirt!" And I look over at his shirt, and he's wearing a shirt that says Killdozer, and I'm like, "Okay, I'll bite. What is that?"
I'm
And
buying
she's
a
like-
Killdozer shirt right now.
And then at that point, she had walked over and started talking to the guy and be like, "Hey, I love your shirt. It's really cool." And then she comes back and I'm like, "What? Fill me in." And she's like, "Google search Killdozer." And I searched it up and I'm like, "Holy shit, we got to do this."
So I watched this documentary like 2 years ago, just randomly. I saw it. It popped up new and I watched it. And it's one of those ones you get halfway through and you're just like watching going, shut the fuck up. This happened? This is real?
Yeah.
Oh,
Dave's trying to
Shit.
shop for a shirt now.
I would buy a Killdozer shirt depending on where the money went. Where's it going?
to Amazon. Killdozer.
Yeah.
Because like,
Go to Amazon.
like if it was going to like a charity that benefited somebody in Granby, Colorado, I mean,
What? One of the ones that didn't die?
No, like one of the
Yes, I'm buying this.
He flattened quite a few buildings.
Guess what?
Tread on them. Look at this.
He flattened either rich people's buildings or he flattened government buildings. Guess what? They've all been rebuilt.
Except for the library that had children in it.
No, it was not the library. It was the town hall.
It was the study with a candlestick.
Yeah.
And again, this is all fun and fine. But again, I really have an issue for people who are putting this motherfucker on a pedestal pretending he's a hero. He isn't.
I don't think he's a hero, but I don't think he's all too wrong.
I absolutely think he's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
price-
went about it the wrong way.
The price
He's
he
crazy.
went about it the wrong way. Definitely went about it the wrong way.
Well, okay, so let's ask a
I'm
question.
buying this.
And you absolutely should. I want to buy that.
That's actually him before he loaded into the Killdozer.
I am literally buying this right now.
At what point in the story where you're like, hey, this guy's kind of right? Every fight he took up, he was fucking blatantly wrong in.
Was he wrong or was he just renegotiating?
He was wrong. Let me be clear on that, Timmy. Wrong. Oh, wait.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
gonna
he
buy
wasn't
this
wrong for
property.
wanting to legalize gambling.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so one. We
But
found
the problem
one.
is he might not have always been wrong about everything, but he went about it the wrong way.
And was very extreme with the way he went about everything.
And like, hey, I bought some property and I want to put a business on it. Hey, city, I know you don't normally do this. You get your bitch asses over here and build me a sewage system for free. That doesn't happen. You shut up, Siri. Like I'm flabbergasted. This guy is a bona fide fucking asshole.
this guy could have got a job with the army and built impenetrable tanks.
And you guys are just like, he just kind of went about it the wrong way. No, he's a fucking douchebag that didn't like being told no. That's what this guy is.
I'm buying his autograph on eBay.
I don't know if he has one. It's not like he was a celebrity. It's not like it's
What was his name again? I already closed the notes.
Niermeyer.
Marvin.
Marv's kill tank.
And of course,
Marvin
in
here.
classic sense, he
literally has a clothing line with Killdozer shit all over eBay.
and
He's
of course,
dead.
in classic
There's
fashion,
no way he has that.
It's
well,
cousin
he's in
Niermeyer.
control.
His cousin
He-
Niermeyer.
He obliterates all these buildings and houses, but as soon as like he runs the track into a basement and he realizes his fucking fun's over with, what does he do? He kills himself because he's a pussy.
Well, he doesn't want to go to
he
jail.
He had enough food for a week. I mean,
You know what buttholes look like in jail?
That Beavis poster you just showed us a minute ago. I mean, again, I just for me, I want to make it clear this guy is an idiot.
well, we know he's an idiot. We love having fun with it. This is a fun story. Dude was obviously an asshole.
You know how people are, like they'll listen to this show and the fun we have with this are like, oh, wait a minute, do those guys actually like it?
No, I don't like him,
No,
but
he's a
dude-
fucking idiot.
Dude was fucking genius.
Well, mechanically, yes, he was a genius. He used it in entirely the wrong way. And this is one of those frustrating things with that mind. Imagine how much good he could have done. And he
Look
used
what
it
he
for that.
did. Look at that shit.
Okay, again, I'm going to reemphasize. Imagine if he used that brain power for good. He didn't do good with that.
If he'd have buried that thing in his property and put out some leaching
He
lines,
could have shit
he'd
in
have
there
made-
for a year.
Yeah, he'd have made his own damn septic system.
This is why I love you guys. This is why. Because Timmy starts off, and I was like, you know what? He could have used that as a shitter. And that's exactly where Timmy went. Like, if he would have buried it underground and put some hoses in that bitch, he would have had a septic tank for another 20 years.
Might have smelt funny, but hey.
World's most expensive shitter. Why'd you put so much concrete around it? Well, I don't want it to leak, you know?
It would not have leaked.
It's just common sense.
I've already been fined for illegal shitting.
Yeah. I'm trying to do things right, okay?
The bastard government's got me by the dick,
Maybe
man.
that's what he was doing. He had Ray Charles navigating his Killdozer, and he was actually just trying to get it to where he could bury it.
And even like the concrete family, they buy the commercial.
That's
defunct
the funny
subdivision,
thing. He probably bought all the concrete on that bitch from them.
probably, and then does a proper. They offer a straight up property swap, which is bananas, and they go for it. And then I know why he said no, because he was like, also while you're at it, why don't you build me a $400,000 business on that property? But again, where the fuck do you get off? But imagine they're walking to property like, we were gonna go through on this, but we just watched your property, and there's like a giant mound of human shit in the back of the woods. So we're just
My dump truck was full.
my dump truck bring me to the yard back there where I had to make
just
my
so
shit.
you know, 11 votes in. Kirsten Dunst not at 73% and hot at 27%.
I didn't know we followed so many morons. I'm a little ashamed.
All right. TJ, wrap us up. We're not
If you
going long
enjoyed this week's
week.
episode, and I know you did, please let us know. Give us that 5-star review wherever you get this podcast. Make sure to follow the show on Twitter at FF Popcast, on Instagram at Killdozer, at Filter Free Popcast, and follow the network at Ram Sports Net. Ask for us. You can find us on social media platforms at Timmy C.
At Timmy C 1979. Hi,
Dollar Bill
Christian.
Dave.
Follow me on X at Dave in the HSV.
Excuse me. And I'm at TC was 91. Of course, go to our YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search Filter Free Podcast. You'll find us. Subscribe. Next week, we cover July of 1984. John Lennon's releasing Songs from the Grave. Car safety starts to become a thing. They launch a dolphin rocket in San Clemente and so much more. This has been the Filter Free Podcast, and so long for now.
Joke of the week. How come Timmy no longer works at Tropicana?
You worked at Tropicana?
They canned him. He couldn't concentrate.
What was this first? What was this about?
Follow him on X.